Coming up tonight on YCN News, the Concerned Citizens of Claremont Group reaches out to residents in an online survey. September's unemployment rate in New Hampshire drops. And Springfield, Vermont welcomes a new town manager. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. For a group of Claremont residents, sprucing up the city's downtown cannot wait. In particular, Pleasant Street, where despite the success of some businesses, empty storefronts remain. Claremont is known as a tight-margin city, yet a group known as the Concerned Citizens of Claremont want cosmetic repairs made quicker. Pleasant Street is of key concern to the group and other downtown areas as well. Parking signs that are not clear to motorists, ghost ads of stores that once graced Pleasant Street need to be repaired now. City councilors heard the group's concerns last month. Next month, another meeting between the group and councilors is expected. Group member Jesse DeMars, owner of Java Cup at 37 Pleasant Street, tells YCN News about the first meeting.
We started at the late in July, and we are certainly looking for members, anybody who's a concerned citizen, who's willing to put their bias aside and their internal or external issues with particular people or individuals aside for the greater good. We're looking for anybody who just wants to help out. The mission of the group is to get together and collaboratively come up with solutions and to problems that we all deem as are the predominant issues that can be tackled easily by us as civilians and business people in the downtown, whether that be simply bringing something to light or taking care of it ourselves by creating memos or writing letters or anything that we can do to help.
Now, the group, co-led by Michael Charest, is collecting information from residents through an online survey. How do city residents receive information about what's happening in Claremont? Happening in this sense means what's being done at City Hall by council members, issues that impact residents. The group may discuss the survey's results at the November meeting. For a link to the online survey, go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/YCNNewsNow. Commuters to the Upper Valley may need to leave extra travel time if they are heading to West Lebanon at the Hartford, Vermont town line. Ongoing bridge repair work at that location will reduce traffic to alternating one way. Maintenance on the temporary bridge will happen between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m., Lebanon city officials report. Local businesses will be open normal operating hours. The repair works will be performed as scheduled, weather permitting. This project is to replace the U.S. Route 4 bridge over the Connecticut River. Details of the project, which date to 2008, can be found on the New Hampshire State Department of Transportation website at nh.gov/projects. The project number is Lebanon 14957. It's good news, and it's news that just happens to come in an election year. September's unemployment rate in New Hampshire dropped to 4.3% last month. Governor Maggie Hassan, seeking her second term as a Democrat, says the rate is much lower than the national unemployment rate of 5.9%. The state's lower rate is an encouraging sign of progress for our people, businesses, and economy, says Hassan in a statement. Still, she says, more jobs need to be created to expand opportunities for the middle class. This will help New Hampshire's economy continue to move in the right direction, Hassan says. In Southern Vermont news, Springfield has a new town manager. Thomas Yenarel of Lebanon, New Hampshire will begin his new job November 17th, the Eagle Times reports. His salary will be $92,000. Yenarel replaces current town manager Robert Forgeitz, who is retiring after 15 years as town manager. Yenarel brings 17 years of municipal experience to Springfield. When YCN News returns, Norwich, Vermont officials consider banning dogs from Huntley Meadows, and a Vermont man faces charges of aggravated assault with a knife after allegedly stabbing a man in White River Junction.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. We bring you an update to a story about a free horse, free to the right owner, that is. 12-year-old Arabian mare Shatir has a new owner and a new home in Canaan, New Hampshire. Kathy LaFlamme tells YCN News that Hyona Shatir, the horse's full name, is going to a good home with a loving owner. On another animal note, officials in Norwich, Vermont may review whether dogs should be banned from Huntley Meadows. 2 children were bit by dogs at the public site, reports the Valley News. Select Board members will discuss on October 22nd the details of the town's animal control ordinance. Charges against a man accused by police of aggravated assault with a knife are forthcoming, Hartford, Vermont police say this afternoon. At 1:30 a.m. today, 46-year-old Henry Chalmers allegedly stabbed 63-year-old Elroy Litchfield of White River Junction, Vermont. Officers responded to a reported stabbing around 112 South Main Street in the area of the former American Legion. Upon arrival, officers located Litchfield, who had allegedly been stabbed in the abdomen by Chalmers, also of White River Junction. It is alleged that Chalmers was intoxicated and disorderly, at which time Litchfield asked him to leave the area. While speaking with him, Chalmers allegedly stabbed Litchfield in the abdomen and then took off on foot. A bystander chased Chalmers down and tackled him. Litchfield was taken to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center for his injuries. Chalmers was also taken to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center for an unspecified medical condition he claimed to have suffered while being tackled by the witness. When YCN News returns, we'll join Upper Valley Chronicle's Elizabeth Durazio, who met with Mary Lockyer to discuss college essay prep from the Howe Library Teen Services.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have patchy fog after 2 a.m. with mostly cloudy skies and lows in the 60s. Tomorrow morning, fog will continue until 10 a.m. Skies will be partly sunny with temperatures rising to a high of 72 degrees. Tomorrow night we have a 60% chance of rain with patchy fog after 2 a.m. Lows will be in the 60s with cloudy skies. Thursday morning will be rainy with possible thunderstorms after 4 a.m. Patches of fog will continue until around 2 p.m. with a 90% chance of precipitation. Highs will be in the upper 60s with winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Thursday night showers will continue with lows around 56 degrees. And now let's take a look at our fall foliage report. YCN will continue to bring you updates on the foliage in New Hampshire and Vermont counties. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in New Hampshire, the Danbury Select Board will meet at 6 p.m. In Lebanon, the City Council meeting will begin at 7 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Last Friday night, the annual Principals Cup game was played between Hanover and Lebanon, two rival schools located only 4.5 miles apart. Hanover has won 12 of the last 18 Principals Cup games, but recently, Lebanon has been the dominant team, winning 3 of the last 5 contests, and comes into this year's game with a 3-1 record. Hanover came into the game with a 1-3 record. On Lebanon's first possession, Dom Linehan catches this pass from quarterback Joe Flanagan and sprints before being tackled by Jeff Gorman on the Hanover 1-yard line. Sophomore Ryan Milliken puts the final touches on the over 6-minute Raider touchdown drive to give Lebanon a 7-0 lead. After falling behind 14-0, Hanover's Jeff Gorman finds a huge hole and scampers 72 yards to pull the visiting Marauders to within a touchdown of the Raiders. Just before the end of the first half, senior Joey Porter rumbles 8 yards to tie the game at 14 and give Hanover some good momentum going into halftime. In the second half, Lebanon jumped back into the lead again with this 9-yard run by senior Cam Broden on the first possession of the third quarter. Hanover once again tied the game when big fullback Jack Cavallero capped off a 52-yard drive with this 1-yard run. In the fourth quarter, with the game still tied, Milliken runs this counter-reverse play 21 yards to put the host Raiders up 28-21 with less than 10 minutes to go in the game. Milliken was flagged for spiking the ball, giving Hanover good field position following the kickoff. After a stalled drive, Hanover got the ball back with this interception by Jeff Gorham, but Lebanon's Walker Tuttle topped off an outstanding game by intercepting this pass to preserve the win for Lebanon. Lebanon went on to win the Principal's Trophy 35-21, and coach Chris Childs and the Lebanon captains take possession of the prized chrysanthemum-filled sap bucket for the third time in the last 5 years. Lebanon is now 4-1 on the season and faces undefeated Kennett at home on Friday in a huge game. Hanover will host Pembroke also on Friday. The entire Principal's Trophy game can be seen on this Wednesday's YCN Game of the Week.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor.
The YCN News continues in a moment.